Lost Book of Enoch, What They Didn't Want You to Know. For centuries, whispers of a forbidden book have circulated among scholars and theologians, a text so powerful that it was erased from official religious doctrines. This book, known as the Book of Enoch, tells of fallen angels, celestial secrets, and a vision of the universe that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient history. Unlike many other apocryphal texts, the Book of Enoch was not merely ignored, it was actively suppressed. Its contents were considered too dangerous, too controversial, and too revealing. But why? What was so terrifying about its message that it had to be hidden? To uncover the truth, we must travel back to a time before the Bible was fully formed, to an era when different groups debated what should be considered divine revelation. And as we investigate, we will find that the Book of Enoch was once respected, widely read, and even quoted in biblical texts. So, what happened? The Book of Enoch is one of the most mysterious texts of ancient times. Written in multiple sections over centuries, it describes events that predate the Great Flood, focusing on the story of fallen angels who descended to earth, taught humans forbidden knowledge, and ultimately led to chaos. It was widely known among Jewish communities, and even early Christians referenced it. Some of the earliest church fathers, such as Tertullian, Origen, and Clement of Alexandria, quoted from it. And yet, it was deliberately removed from most religious canons. This raises an unavoidable question. Was the Book of Enoch banned because it revealed too much? To answer that, we need to look at one of the greatest discoveries of the modern age, the Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, a Bedouin shepherd stumbled upon a cave near the Dead Sea. Inside, he found jars containing ancient manuscripts, texts that had been hidden away for nearly 2,000 years. These became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they contained some of the earliest copies of biblical books ever found. But among them was something unexpected. Fragments of the Book of Enoch, written in Aramaic, the same language spoken by Jesus. This discovery was shocking. It proved that the Book of Enoch was widely read by Jewish communities during the time of Jesus. It wasn't just some obscure text, it was part of the spiritual discussions that shaped the foundations of Western religious thought. So if this book was so important, why was it erased from history? The removal of Enoch's writings didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process, influenced by religious and political decisions. In Judaism, the book was rejected by rabbinical authorities around the 2nd century AD. Why? Because it described angels in a way that challenged traditional theology, portraying them as rebels who directly interfered with human affairs. This idea didn't fit with the emerging structure of Jewish teachings at the time. In Christianity, things were different. The early church debated which books should be included in the Bible. Some leaders wanted Enoch to be part of the canon. Others feared its contents were too mystical, too apocalyptic. In the end, it was left out. But why? Some speculate that its detailed accounts of fallen angels, secret knowledge, and cosmic judgment conflicted with the growing authority of the church. If the Book of Enoch were widely accepted, it could challenge the control of religious institutions over spiritual knowledge. Instead, it was labeled heretical, and over time, it faded from mainstream teachings, except in one place, Ethiopia. While the rest of the world forgot about Enoch, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church preserved it. To this day, they include it in their canon, recognizing its importance. Why Ethiopia? Because Christianity took a unique form there, independent of Rome, preserving older traditions that other churches abandoned. They still regard Enoch as a prophet and his book as a sacred text. This raises a serious question. What did the Ethiopian church see in Enoch that the rest of the world ignored? What's inside the Book of Enoch? If the book was erased, then it must contain something that someone didn't want us to read. Inside its pages, we find stories unlike anything in the modern Bible. angels descending to earth and teaching humans forbidden secrets, a cosmic war that predates Noah's flood, a detailed vision of heaven and the end of days. These are themes that exist in other ancient traditions, but are largely missing from the mainstream biblical narrative. So, if Enoch really did walk with God, and if he truly received divine revelations, what knowledge have we lost? Enoch is one of the most enigmatic figures in ancient texts, a man who, according to biblical tradition, never died. Unlike Adam, Noah, or Abraham, who lived long and eventful lives before meeting their end, Enoch's story took a different path. Genesis 5:24 states, "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." These words are deceptively simple, yet they hide one of the greatest mysteries in religious history. What does it mean that Enoch walked with God? And more importantly, where did he go? Unlike other patriarchs whose deaths are explicitly recorded, Enoch simply disappears from the biblical narrative. Some interpretations suggest he ascended to heaven, not unlike Elijah, who was taken in a fiery chariot. But if Enoch truly entered the celestial realms, what did he see? The Book of Enoch claims to hold the answer. According to this lost text, Enoch was taken to the highest heavens, where he was given divine knowledge that was never meant for human eyes. He witnessed the secrets of creation, the realms of angels, and the judgment awaiting the world. He became a messenger, writing down everything he had seen. But if this knowledge was so crucial, why was it suppressed? Ancient Jewish and Christian traditions suggest that Enoch was more than just a prophet. He was a figure who bridged the human and divine realms. Some texts even call him the first scribe, the one who recorded divine revelations long before Moses received the Torah. If true, this would place Enoch's teachings at the very foundation of monotheistic faith. Enoch's mysterious disappearance and supposed ascension to heaven made him a subject of fascination for centuries. Early Christian and Jewish writings hint at his role in a greater cosmic battle, a struggle between the forces of good and the fallen ones who corrupted the earth. These themes are strongly present in the Book of Enoch, which describes a group of angels known as the Watchers, celestial beings who descended to earth and changed human history forever. Who were these Watchers, and why did they come to earth? The answers lie deep within the forbidden pages of Enoch's writings. If these accounts are true, they could rewrite everything we thought we knew about human origins, divine intervention, and the spiritual war that has raged since the dawn of time. But before we dive into the Watchers and their forbidden knowledge, we must first understand why the figure of Enoch was so important to those who came after him. Unlike other patriarchs, Enoch became a symbol of something greater than human wisdom. He represented the possibility of divine transformation. While figures like Noah were chosen to survive a flood, and Abraham was called to build a nation, Enoch was different. He didn't just serve God, he became something beyond human comprehension. This idea of transformation is not unique to Enoch. Many ancient cultures had legends of figures who ascended to realms beyond the human plane. In some interpretations, Enoch's fate echoes the myths of deified kings or ascended masters, mortals who became something greater through their wisdom and righteousness. But what makes Enoch truly fascinating is that he did not ascend after death, like many figures in mythology. He was taken while still alive. Why would this happen? What was so unique about Enoch that God chose to remove him from the world instead of letting him die like other mortals? The Book of Enoch suggests that it was because he had become too enlightened, learning secrets that the divine realm never intended for humanity to know. In some versions of the story, Enoch is said to have walked so closely with God that he became something entirely different, not just a man, but a celestial being of knowledge and wisdom. This idea made Enoch incredibly controversial. If a mere human could ascend to such heights, what did that mean for the rest of humanity? Did it suggest that all people had the potential to become something more? If so, it was a dangerous idea, one that religious authorities may have wanted to suppress. Perhaps that is why the Book of Enoch was hidden for so long. Some scholars believe that early religious leaders feared its message, worrying that it would lead people to question traditional structures of power and divine authority. After all, if Enoch, a seemingly ordinary man, could gain knowledge so powerful that he was taken directly into the heavens, what did that say about the potential of every human being? There is also the question of how Enoch's knowledge was passed down. If he truly wrote down his experiences, where did those writings go? Some believe that his texts were hidden deliberately, only to be rediscovered thousands of years later. Others claim that remnants of his wisdom survived in fragmented texts, secretly influencing later religious traditions. But the most controversial claim of all is that Enoch's journey was not just spiritual, but physical. Some interpretations suggest that he didn't just receive visions of heaven. He was taken there bodily, experiencing realms beyond our comprehension in a way that no other human ever had. This is where things become even more mysterious. What did he see in these realms? And more importantly, why did those in power try so hard to ensure that his knowledge never became widely known? To answer that, we must look at the beings Enoch encountered in his journey. The Watchers, the fallen angels who descended to earth and changed the course of human history forever. Were they truly divine beings, or something else entirely? Were they the original bringers of forbidden knowledge, or was there something deeper at play? Enoch's story is not just one of divine favor, but of a war for knowledge, a struggle between those who sought enlightenment and those who wished to keep humanity in the dark. And as we move forward, the revelations only become more shocking. The real question is, if Enoch's knowledge was so dangerous that it had to be erased from history, what exactly was it that they didn't want us to know? Enoch's journey into the heavens was unlike anything ever recorded. He did not just glimpse the divine. He encountered beings of immense power and mystery, beings known as the Watchers. According to the Book of Enoch, these were angels assigned to observe the affairs of humanity. But something went terribly wrong. Instead of merely watching, they descended to earth, and in doing so, they changed the course of human history forever. Who were these Watchers? Why did they come to earth? And what knowledge did they share that was so dangerous it led to their eternal punishment? The Book of Enoch describes how these celestial beings lusted after human women, and, in an act of defiance, took them as wives. This was strictly forbidden by divine law, but their transgression did not stop there. These Watchers shared secret knowledge with humanity, knowledge that was never meant to be known. They taught mankind the art of war, the secrets of forging weapons, the mysteries of the stars, and even the hidden forces of magic. It was an era unlike any other. Suddenly, humans had technology, power, and knowledge that far exceeded what they should have possessed. The Watchers had disrupted the natural order, and with their influence, humanity changed dramatically. But this newfound knowledge came at a cost. With the introduction of warfare, deception, and forbidden sciences, the world descended into chaos. But why would the Watchers do this? What was their true motive? Some interpretations suggest that the Watchers were not acting out of mere lust or curiosity, but out of rebellion. They wanted to elevate humanity beyond its natural limits, creating something more powerful, something that would rival even the divine. But in doing so, they sealed their own fate. The Book of Enoch describes how God, enraged by their actions, decreed a terrible punishment. The Watchers were bound in chains and cast into the depths of the earth, imprisoned until the final judgment. But before they fell, they left behind offspring, beings known as the Nephilim. These Nephilim were described as giants, men of renown, beings of unnatural strength and knowledge. Some texts claim they ruled over humanity like gods, while others suggest they were a hybrid race, neither fully human nor fully angelic. But one thing is clear, they were never meant to exist. The corruption spread across the world, and the flood of Noah was sent as divine judgment to cleanse the earth of the Nephilim's influence. Many believe that this event is why the book of Enoch was removed from the biblical canon, because it tells a story that is too shocking, too dangerous, and too disruptive to the traditional narrative. But if the Watchers' knowledge was so dangerous, what exactly did they teach? Were they merely giving humans the ability to forge weapons? Or was there something deeper? Some theories suggest that the Watchers revealed the true nature of the cosmos, teaching humans about dimensions beyond our own, celestial mechanics, and perhaps even the secret to immortality. If true, this would mean that ancient civilizations had access to knowledge that rivaled even modern science. Others believe that the Watchers' influence did not end with their imprisonment. There are echoes of their knowledge in myths from all over the world, from the gods of Mesopotamia to the divine rulers of Egypt, from the legends of the Titans to the deities of the Americas. Were these beings simply echoes of the Watchers' legacy, or did some of them survive the flood, passing their knowledge through secret societies and ancient traditions? Enoch's writings suggest that the Watchers were not completely wiped out, and their influence still lingers in hidden places. There are accounts of forbidden books, lost texts, and mystical traditions that claim to carry the wisdom of the fallen angels. If true, then this knowledge is still out there, waiting to be rediscovered. But the real question remains, was this knowledge a gift, or was it a curse? The answers lie deeper in the forbidden texts of Enoch. And as we move forward, we will uncover even greater secrets that could change our understanding of human history forever. The floodwaters had long receded, yet whispers of the Nephilim never truly disappeared. The Book of Enoch tells us that these beings, born of the union between fallen angels and human women, were unlike anything the world had ever seen. They were giants, warriors, kings, and rulers, with knowledge far beyond that of ordinary men. But who exactly were they, and could they have survived long after the flood? The Nephilim were more than just physical giants. They were the living remnants of forbidden knowledge, a legacy of the Watchers that should never have existed. Ancient texts describe them as possessing incredible strength, intellect, and abilities beyond what any human could achieve. Some were said to have dominion over men, acting as rulers and even gods among ancient civilizations, but their power did not go unnoticed. The divine order had already punished their fathers, the Watchers, by casting them into darkness. The Nephilim, too, were marked for destruction. The Great Flood, often seen as a punishment for human corruption, was also meant to eradicate the Nephilim's presence from the earth. But was the flood truly the end? If these beings were so powerful, could some have escaped? Scattered across ancient cultures are strikingly similar myths about beings who came from the heavens, ruled over humanity, and left behind mysterious structures, monoliths, pyramids, and unexplained artifacts that defy explanation. Were these mere legends, or were they remnants of a lost race? Take, for example, the Anunnaki of Mesopotamian mythology, divine beings who were said to have given knowledge to humanity and ruled as kings. Or the Titans of Greek mythology, powerful and immortal, cast down into an abyss after a great war. Even the gods of ancient Egypt were often depicted as beings with superior knowledge and power, ruling as both divine and mortal figures. Could these be echoes of the Nephilim? Some believe that not all Nephilim perished in the flood. The Book of Numbers, written long after Genesis, references the sons of Enoch, a race of giants still living in the land of Canaan. These beings were so intimidating that even the warriors of Israel feared them. How could they still exist? Unless some had somehow survived the flood or were reborn. And then there are the architectural wonders of the ancient world, structures that defy conventional historical narratives. The Great Pyramids, the megalithic stones of Baalbek, the ruins of Göbekli Tepe, all raise unanswered questions about the origins of human civilization. Could these have been built under the influence of knowledge passed down from the Nephilim? But if some Nephilim did survive, where are they now? There are those who believe that their legacy lives on, not in the form of literal giants, but in hidden bloodlines, secret societies, and forbidden texts. Some conspiracy theories suggest that certain royal families and ruling elites throughout history have claimed descent from these ancient beings, guarding the knowledge that was once bestowed by the Watchers. Whether or not such claims are true, one thing is certain: the story of the Nephilim was considered too dangerous for mainstream religious teachings. The Book of Enoch, which details their rise and fall, was removed from most biblical canons, hidden away, and labeled apocryphal. But why? Was it because these stories were too fantastical? Or was it because they revealed something about our past that was never meant to be known? The deeper we explore Enoch's writings, the more we uncover the possibility that the history we were taught is incomplete. There are gaps, missing pieces, and ancient whispers that suggest humanity's past is far stranger than we were led to believe. The Nephilim may have been wiped from history, but their legacy is still felt in myths, in ruins, and perhaps even in the hidden corridors of power. But this is only part of the story. The Book of Enoch contains even more secrets. Secrets about the cosmic order, about the fate of the Watchers, and about the final judgment. And as we turn the pages of this lost text, we will find answers that challenge everything we thought we knew. The truth is just beginning to unfold. The Book of Enoch is not merely a historical or mythological account. It is a book of prophecies, foretelling events that would shape the fate of humanity and the universe itself. Enoch was not just a scribe, nor merely a man who walked with God. He was a seer, given knowledge that no other human had ever received. And his visions, recorded thousands of years ago, speak of a future that still resonates today. One of Enoch's most striking prophecies is the coming judgment. Unlike the biblical narratives that speak of divine punishment only in the context of nations and kings, Enoch's visions expand to a cosmic scale. He describes a final reckoning where not just humans, but angels, spirits, and all celestial beings will be held accountable. But what was the true nature of this judgment? Enoch's text reveals that even the fallen Watchers feared what was coming. They pleaded with him to intercede on their behalf, asking for a chance at redemption. But God's response, as relayed through Enoch, was clear. "You have seen what was hidden. You have defiled yourselves with mortal flesh, and you shall have no peace." This prophecy confirms a universal law of divine justice, that no being, whether angelic or human, can escape the consequences of corruption. It also raises a disturbing question. If angels, who were created before mankind, could fall and face judgment, what does that mean for us? Enoch's vision doesn't end there. He is taken into the heavens and shown a great throne, where a figure described as the Son of Man sits in judgment over all creation. This imagery, which predates the New Testament by centuries, is eerily similar to descriptions of the Messiah in Christian and Jewish eschatology. But how did Enoch, living long before the arrival of Jesus, foresee a divine ruler who would judge the world? Was this knowledge hidden, suppressed, or simply too dangerous to include in mainstream religious texts? The implications of Enoch's prophecy go beyond just the end times. His visions also describe cycles of history, where civilizations rise, fall, and are judged for their actions. Some scholars believe that Enoch's book hints at a pattern of destruction and renewal, where knowledge is lost and rediscovered across generations. And if this is true, it raises another unsettling thought. Are we living in one of these cycles right now? Consider the rapid rise and fall of ancient civilizations. The knowledge of the Sumerians, the secrets of the Mayans, the unexplained technological advances of lost empires, all point to a past far more complex than what traditional history tells us. Could Enoch's writings be a warning that history is doomed to repeat itself? Some believe that his book contains clues to hidden wisdom, knowledge that was deliberately removed from sacred texts to keep humanity unaware of the greater cosmic battle at play. If the Watchers were punished for revealing forbidden knowledge, what does that say about those who still guard such secrets today? One of the most cryptic passages in Enoch's prophecy speaks of a future age where deception will rule, a time where truth is hidden, false leaders rise, and knowledge is used not for enlightenment, but for control. In those days, the elect shall seek the truth, and shall not find it, and the wise shall be deceived. Could we be living in that time now? Modern society is saturated with disinformation, hidden agendas, and powerful elites who shape public perception. The idea that ancient knowledge was erased to serve a purpose is no longer just speculation. It is a reality that historians and scholars continuously confront. The Book of Enoch, though banned and hidden for centuries, has resurfaced in recent times, and with it questions that challenge the very foundations of what we believe about history, prophecy, and our place in the universe. Perhaps this was Enoch's final message, that knowledge was never meant to be lost, only rediscovered by those willing to seek the truth. But the journey through his writings is far from over, for within these pages lies one final revelation, one that brings together the fall of the Watchers, the fate of the Nephilim, and the ultimate destiny of mankind. A revelation that has been whispered throughout history, but never fully understood. Enoch's journey was not merely a vision, it was a transcendent experience, one that took him beyond the limits of human understanding. He was not just a witness, but an active participant in a cosmic drama that unfolded before him. And at the heart of this revelation lies the ultimate secret, one so profound that it threatened the very foundation of religious authority. But what was this secret? Through his writings, Enoch describes the structure of the universe, revealing hidden realms, celestial hierarchies, and a divine order that governs all existence. His accounts of the heavens predate later religious texts, yet they share striking similarities with various spiritual traditions across time. Could it be that Enoch's knowledge was so advanced that it transcended cultures and epochs? One of his most cryptic revelations is the Book of the Courses of the Heavenly Luminaries, where he describes the workings of the sun, moon, and stars in a way that suggests ancient civilizations possessed astronomical knowledge far beyond their supposed capabilities. This text not only mapped the heavens, but also hinted at a secret cosmic law that connected the movements of celestial bodies to human destiny. But even more unsettling is his final vision, a glimpse into the true nature of existence itself. Enoch is taken beyond the physical universe into a realm of pure light, where he encounters a blindingly radiant figure seated upon a throne. This being, greater than even the highest angels, speaks to Enoch in a voice like thunder, revealing the hidden design of creation. You have seen what is unseen, and you have walked where no mortal has walked. But not all knowledge is for the children of men. This declaration suggests something shocking, that there are truths too dangerous for humanity to know. The revelation shakes Enoch to his core. In that moment, he understands why humanity was never meant to possess all divine knowledge. The balance between heaven and earth, between mortality and divinity, depends on the limitation of certain truths. Too much knowledge, too soon, could unravel the very fabric of existence. And yet, in his final moments before returning to the earthly realm, he sees something even more terrifying, a vision of what is to come. The skies darken, the earth trembles. He sees kingdoms rise and fall, empires built on lies collapsing under the weight of their own deception. He sees false prophets leading nations astray, distorting the very teachings he has been given. But most of all, he sees a time of great awakening, when the hidden knowledge he has recorded will resurface. Write these words and seal them until the appointed time. The command echoes in his soul. He realizes that his journey was never meant for his own understanding alone. It was for the future, for a generation yet to come. Could that generation be us? With the rediscovery of the Book of Enoch in modern times, has the appointed time finally arrived? The implications are staggering. If the secrets of Enoch are now being uncovered, it means we are living in the age of revelation, a time when lost knowledge is being restored and the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is thinning. But with this knowledge comes danger. Enoch foresaw a great deception, a moment in history when falsehoods would masquerade as truth, and knowledge would be used not for enlightenment, but for control. Woe to the generation that seeks knowledge, yet turns it into a weapon against itself. Are we living in that time now? Think about it. The rise of artificial intelligence, the digital tracking of human behavior, the growing influence of hidden power structures. Is humanity being guided toward a new level of consciousness, or is it being led into an illusion? This is why Enoch's warnings must not be ignored. His book, once buried, is now in the hands of those who seek understanding. But what we do with this knowledge will determine our fate. For as Enoch's journey comes to an end, ours is just beginning. The question is no longer whether the lost wisdom of the ancients has resurfaced. The real question is, are we ready to accept the truth? Aqui estão os capítulos finais que faltavam para concluir o roteiro conforme o outline planejado. The debate over Enoch's book raged through centuries, with scholars, theologians, and historians arguing its significance. Some saw it as a key to understanding divine justice, while others dismissed it as mere myth. Yet, as more ancient texts emerged, including the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book's importance only grew. It wasn't just about the fall of the Watchers or the Nephilim. It was about the very fabric of human history, the struggle between obedience and defiance, between knowledge and ignorance. Hidden within its verses were warnings of great upheavals, messages eerily aligning with events of the past and those yet to come. As the years passed, more references to Enoch surfaced in various traditions. Ethiopian Christianity safeguarded the text, recognizing it as scripture, while Western Christianity pushed it into obscurity. What was it about this book that made it so feared, so controversial? If it was merely fiction, why did so many seek to erase it? And if it was truth, what truths were being silenced? Scholars now question whether Enoch was meant to be forgotten or whether his book was hidden, waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to hear its message. But one thing is certain: the echoes of his words still whisper through history, leaving a haunting question unanswered. What knowledge did they not want us to have? For centuries, the Book of Enoch has been more than just a forgotten text. It has been an enigma, a puzzle that seems deliberately concealed. Unlike other apocryphal writings, which faded into obscurity, Enoch's book was outright rejected, exiled from religious discourse, and hidden from generations. But why? Was it truly a mere theological disagreement, or was there something within its pages that threatened to unravel everything? Enoch's revelations were not just about history. They were warnings. He detailed a world that was far more complex than what mainstream scriptures have led us to believe. A world where celestial beings could descend to earth, disrupt the divine order, and give humanity knowledge that was never meant to be possessed. But even more disturbing is what follows: the judgment that Enoch witnessed. He saw a time when divine forces would return, not in peace, but in reckoning. He described the imprisonment of the fallen ones, the corruption of human bloodlines, and a final battle between light and darkness that would decide the fate of the earth itself. If Enoch's vision was a prophecy, then the implications are terrifying. Could it be that his book was removed, not because it was unimportant, but because it was too important? But there's something even more disturbing to consider. If the Book of Enoch was erased, how much more has been hidden? Are there other texts, that never made it to public knowledge? Could there be entire portions of history we were never meant to see? And if that's the case, then the real question isn't just about Enoch, it's about us. If knowledge was stolen from humanity, who took it? And more importantly, why? Is it possible that ancient elites, religious authorities, or even hidden forces feared that Enoch's knowledge would give humanity too much power? What if his writings contained more than just myth? What if they held a key to understanding our true origins, our place in the cosmos, and perhaps even the hidden forces still at work today? One of the most haunting aspects of the book is its ending. Unlike many apocalyptic visions, Enoch does not describe a distant judgment. He describes one that is inevitable, a fate that is not merely written in the stars, but is already in motion. And the most terrifying part, what if we are already living in the time Enoch predicted? The wars, the deception, the rise of global powers, the corruption of morality. Are these not the very signs he warned about? If Enoch was right, then the Watchers may not be merely a story of the past. Perhaps they never truly left. And that leaves us with a final unsettling thought. If the knowledge of Enoch was forbidden, what happens when humanity rediscovers it? What are we not supposed to know?